Good day to you. This is our evening broadcast. We are going to look at today some the predicament that is the human beauty and the tragedy. So today's broadcast will be the beauty and the tragedy. There are such beautiful things in humanity and in creation, and there is such tragedy also. How did it happen? So we look at Genesis chapter 3. What happened after man opted to listen to the serpent rather than listen to God? Cast his allegiance according to what the serpent said rather than what God the Father said. Now this is nothing unusual because children not infrequently cast their allegiance, trust on others who injure them. Then only in the injury they find out we shouldn't have done this. This is what happened in the first episode. So here we are, Genesis chapter 3. Verse 15, I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your seed and her seed. So it is true that anywhere we see a serpent now, that serpent tries to attack you anyway, and you would try to kill the serpent knowing that it's dangerous, poisonous. Whereas we are told most animals will not attack human beings just like that, only if they are hungry or angry or whatever it is. But the case is different with the serpent. So there is an ongoing enmity between you and the woman, and between your seed and her seed. So that looks like just the humankind, but we can see not merely the serpent problem, but there is an enemy at enmity with mankind. So in a very good and nice looking creation, there are also terrible things happening. So there's an enemy at work. So when children, even people who have been, even husband and wife can become enemies against each other, parents and children, people who should be doing things together, working like enemies, and sadly sometimes the big pharma industry can become the enemy of mankind when wrong drugs, improper drugs, unnecessary drugs, massively priced drugs are made. Same with the vaccine industry. What ought to have been the friend and the benefactor turning to be a malefactor is quite a possible thing. And not only possible, it happens all the time. So this statement in Genesis chapter 3:15, I will put enmity between you and the woman. The enmity can arise in completely unsuspecting or unexpected areas and situations. You have to factor in that we have to constantly mind the enmity that is against each other in what ought to be very harmonious relationships. That political parties or two countries at war getting into enmity is understandable. But there is a mysterious part of enmity. People who were once so close to each other, when they become enemies, it becomes a rage and a rampage. So you understood, there is a mysterious or iniquitous drivenness to enmity once it starts. So good thing to do is not to get into enmity. And then we look to the cross of Jesus Christ, where some terrible enmity seems to have come at him. So I'm recommending, please do look at my midday broadcast today about the crucifixion. I gave a very thorough medical explanation how a person dies when hanging on the cross, which is called cardiac tamponade. It'll go side by side with this little talk, where this is a short talk, but my midday broadcast is quite comprehensive, and today it was all about this enmity that came on the cross when Jesus Christ died, and the physical details and the medical details of the cross, of crucifixion. At this point we are looking at the mysterious, vengeful drivenness that enmity musters in people who were once close to each other. You got my point, isn't it? There is a mysterious element to that. Then here we have the Lord God's, and I put enmity between you and the woman, and between your seed and her seed. He shall bruise you on the head, and you shall bruise him on the heel. So here, this reference to the seed of the woman is not merely mere mankind, but a particular seed of the woman who will engage this battle, and in that battle, a serpent will bruise his heel, and he shall bruise you on the head, completely defeat. So we know this is a reference to Jesus Christ, the Messiah, who came as the seed of the woman. All through the Old Testament and in Hebrew culture, you never said seed of the woman, you say seed of man, seed of so and so. But here, a woman's seed. Why? Because Jesus Christ, God incarnate, came into a womb, Mary's womb, Virgin Mary's womb, without the concurrence of Joseph. So that's why he's called the seed of the woman. There was no male factor doing that conception. It was all God. He shall bruise you on the head. So this is the crucifixion story. Jesus Christ will die in the process, but he will crush the head off, bruise you on the head. The eternal battle came to not eternal, but the battle of the ages came to an head in Mount called Calvary. To the woman he said, I will greatly multiply your pain. So pain came after this, and pain in childbirth particularly, the pain, the risk, all that was involved in childbirth. Now you may think that was totally bad, but it is a point of redemption that man and woman give themselves to a sacrifice that's in a sense life-threatening for the next generation, for the progeny. The task that God gave to them would involve a tremendous sacrifice. God thought it necessary to put a great value on human birth, knowing the propensities that will come to man. So man would be careful to raise up a child because of the pain involved, the risk involved. They would really want to have the child. So to kill a child in the mother's womb is terrible, which is called abortion. It is murder. Thank God in Sri Lanka, abortion is still illegal. Old British law, yes. So here it is to the woman, he said, I will greatly multiply your pain in childbirth. In pain you will bring forth children. Yet your desire will be for your husband, and he will rule over you. So it was written into the God's order since the fall into sin and disobedience that the male partner, the husband if you may, would have would have a ruling role. Of course, it was meant to be a rule of love always, whereas at the beginning they were co-equal. Now comes in the family unit, he has to lead. That's all it means. Lead. Leadership was given to him because in a fallen world, leadership is necessary. Someone has to take final authority, final responsibility, final accountability. So in leadership, we go from responsibility, accountability, and then only authority. Don't start with authority. Responsibility is the thing. And it was meant to be a rule of love and a leadership in love. And we find this depicted in Ephesians 5:24. Let the man, first husband, love your wife. Next, wife, submit yourself to the husband. That's the biblical order. This is not tyranny, but this is a rule of love. So one had to lead. Of course, they'll decide together, they'll consult one another, but one had to lead. Then it says, yet your desire will be for your husband. So it was created into man, the woman, that she will want a life partner, a husband. So heterosexual marriage is defined here, no other marriage is envisaged. The woman's desire should be for a husband, the male. There was no provision in the creation mandate, woman desiring woman and man desiring man. So that's completely off. He will rule over you, leadership. And to Adam he said, I think we will stop there and take up Adam and the earth and the work, how it went tomorrow. Thank you for listening. So the highlights today is that enmity all came on the cross of Jesus Christ. I strongly recommend, please go to my midday broadcast, which was named Light in the Darkness. Yes, how God comes through. And it will be good, and it has a good description of the crucifixion. Its medical aspect and its implication. Thank you for listening.